Hello, everyone. I'm Yvette Lloyd, host of Life Her podcast. We have an amazing guest with us tonight, and it's Aleeah Smith. She's a visionary entrepreneur, a mom of four, and the youngest 11 times franchise owner in the U.S., originally from Lansing, Michigan. She is now based in Atlanta, Georgia, and she studied business management at Michigan State University. And she brings over 10 years of experience in banking and finance as a powerhouse behind the brands like the Peach Cobbler Factory, Ricketts, world famous bar and sports lounge, and also other franchises that she have coming in the near future. She's mastered the multi-unit management, hospitality operations, and also franchise ownership. She's also an award-winning dessert queen featured in magazines and recognized for all of her creativity, leadership in food and beverage industry. Aleeah has an amazing story, and we're going to hear it today as a powerhouse and leaving legacy today here in the atmosphere. Hey, Leah, how are you?
Oh, how are you? I'm good.
I'm good too, girl. I'm so happy to have you today because with you being so young and you doing so much in the industry, it will inspire other young girls and girls that's like coming up because we need more of us to just really show ourselves and show them the way. So I really admire that with you.
Yes, thank you. I'm so happy to be here too. And that's really my goal with what I do every day is to pave the way for young girls and just people that, want to learn more and get into the industry that I'm in and just be a voice and provide knowledge for people that maybe not have someone because I knew that, when I was coming up, I had to do a lot of the hard work on my own and I didn't have that person to just kind of lead the way for me. So I really like that is my goal every day is to make sure that I do something to continue to pave the way for others.
Man, so before you actually became all of this entrepreneurship, franchises, and everything, who was Aaliyah Smith growing up?
So I'm from Lansing, so I'm from the Midwest, Lansing, Michigan. I know that us in the Midwest, we just hustle. So I always had it in me from a young girl. I started my first business as a teenager. I was 13 when I started my first business. Also, when I started my first business, I had two part-time jobs and I was volunteering full time. So I was busy. Um, I always been the child or teenager or young adult to kind of go above and beyond. My mom definitely kept me busy when it came to extracurricular programs, sports, making sure that I was ahead of the game when it came to my education. So that definitely has something to do with my drive, especially both of my parents are in the entrepreneur world too. So I kind of grew up and being able to see that. But I started my first business. It was called A Taste of Love, and it was a baking and treats catering business. Actually started off the whole purpose behind my business was, I was young. I was a young kid. I actually was saving to get my first car. At 13, I started saving early, so I'm like, dang, I want to get my mom and my stepmom something for Mother's Day, and like my grandmother's. I'm like, edible arrangements is expensive. I'm like, goodness gracious. I'm like, these arrangements is like $100 each, and I'm like, I gotta get like six. So in my head, I'm like, it can't be this hard to make this, right? So I watched the YouTube video because we didn't have TikTok and stuff here. So I watched the YouTube video step by step, and I said, "Oh, I can do this." Went to back then, I went to Walmart. We had stores like Michael's, Joann's. I went to all those stores, got all this stuff, and I made it. I still got my first picture of my first treats that I have, and um the ladies that received it, like my mom, my grandma, my mom posted it on Facebook, and it got like so many reactions, like, "Oh, I want one. I want to order one. How can we order it?" So I'm like, "Okay, what do I do next?" So with my mom, my stepmom's guidance, they got me into learning about LLCs and DBAs and just all of this different stuff. And I started my first legal business. So that kind of really created the journey for me when it came to baking and things like in my hometown. Like I'm like a big thing when it comes to like treats and baking because I've just done it for so many years. I would say I slowed down on it when I really went full time with my first franchise. But I was doing it, traveling all around to different states, doing weddings and birthday parties and all type of events, all the way up until I was like 25. So I definitely did it for about 12 years. So that's a long time to have a business, you
Yes.
know, that long and just be doing that. But I absolutely love desserts. I absolutely love baking. Like it's a big hobby for me, cooking, baking, all of that. So that is what drove me to go into franchising and hospitality as well. So
That is amazing. So, with you becoming an entrepreneur very young, or what is some of the things that you experienced that shaped you into who you are today? Because doing entrepreneurship, we have our ups, we have our downs, we have our experience of dealing with people and
mhm.
everything. What made you stronger and everything along the way?
I would definitely say a lot of the trial and error, especially being young. Like I'm still, people still look at me as really young, but since I've been doing it for so long, I just sometimes I'm like I'm not that young, or
You
it just
yeah,
feels like
baby.
that older than doing this for so long. But mind you, being in high school, I was in middle school when I started. I was going into high school. Being that young, you know, it was kind of like a respect line. A lot of people that were, you know, ordering for me or became my first clients, if it wasn't family and was new people, um I had to earn the respect, you know, because I was young. I was still looked at as a child running a business. So like when it came to me learning, you know, food costs and percentages and, you know, profits and just things like that, and kind of gauging how I'm going to run my business, operate my business, and of course price things so it makes sense for me, because you know I have to pay myself for my time. I learned that really quick, especially being a hustler. I learned this really quick, making sure that everything that I did resulted in me benefiting and making a profit, because I had goals. You know, I had goals really young. So for me, it was definitely going through the trial and error and just earning that respect, so that when my prices were my prices, you know, people just say, you know, this is Aleeah. We not about to. She know we not. She's not negotiating us. You know, she really stands her ground. She's knowledgeable, even though that she's young. Her customer service is great. Her priority is her customers. I made sure that I learned that part early too, because for me, just working, being an employee on both sides. Like I worked in corporate. I was an employee young, entrepreneur young. I really learned all sides of businesses. And for me, my main thing was customer service, because I knew that that goes a long way. And even dealing with difficult individuals, in my mind, I always had the mindset of the customer's right. So I kind of lived by that. And that really helped me get into places that I didn't think that, you know, I would be in, just based off of sometimes you have to, um, not sometimes, you always have to be teachable and open to learn. And that's a big thing, because some people, you know, get to a certain success and just think that they're right all the time and they know it all. And for me, I'm learning every day. And I am so big on mentorship and creating to learn, because there's a lot of people that learn from me too, but I have to continue to learn from people that have experienced more than me and that know more than me, so I can continue to teach and pass down as well. So I'm really big on being open to change, and definitely um, taking knowledge from people that, you know, just have done things more than me and are they're just more educated. So I'm really big on that. Being teachable is really a big thing.
It is a really big thing. And even like sometimes when you go reaching different levels, people don't really understand. Like you always got room to grow. You got always got room to learn. It may be, when you in a successful level and you doing so much, you still need accountability. You still need somebody to tell you if you're doing something wrong, or maybe
Yeah.
you should switch doing this, or maybe you should grow in this area. I love having people telling me what I'm doing wrong and what I should fix, because you don't want a lot of yes people around you
Mhm.
and just basically just going with the flow and agreeing with everything that you're doing. But you just still need time to grow and be able to have acceptance into what they're saying to you, especially somebody that's doing way better than you or
Yeah.
on the same level. That is so needed. I'm glad that you have that. That's really good.
Yes.
So you became the youngest Black woman to own 2 franchises of the Peach Cobbler Factory. What sparked the decision to make that leap into franchising?
So it's something that I always wanted to do at a young age. For me, it is I'm very big at being the first, or because I'm very competitive. So I'm big at wanting to be the first to do, or wanting to go above and beyond, or set myself apart from what everybody else is doing because I'm a natural leader. So for me is when I set a goal, I'm like, okay, this is what I want to do. And I'm going to stick to it. So when I was young, I always knew that I wanted to own a franchise. But for me, it was more so the big name ones that were a goal for me. So like if we're thinking like, McDonald's or different things like that. I actually looked into and still looking into, fast food because, that is a goal for me. I want to be able to have that in my portfolio as well. But what stood out to me about the Peach Cobbler Factory was it was a new business that was just starting out franchising. And I actually looked at and inquired and tried out a few other ones before I made the decision to make Peach Cobbler Factory the first one. But what stuck out to me was the mission and what they were doing and the variety of desserts and how it aligned with what I already had experience in. And at the time, it was Black owned as well. So it was something that stuck out to me. And a lot of us who are a part of the franchise. So it was, a good experience. And I'm really glad that I made that choice. And I'm, still with the franchise and growing with the franchise because they have grown tremendously from when I first joined in. And I only can imagine it getting more than what it is today over time.
Oh, wow. So can you walk us through how you secure your very first franchise and what was the process like as and what obstacles did you overcome?
Yes. So for me, since I had the goal and it was something that I was planning for years, for me it was I literally like saved. So I worked towards it and I saved. So for me, I was able to do I was able to work my job and I was able to save for my franchise. So I did my first 2 franchises. Well, this far in all my business ventures, I was able to do it debt free. So for me, it was working, saving, and just making that the goal to be able to pay for it. It's a goal that I had for myself, and not saying that loans and things aren't okay because there are. It's a form of funding, and I know down the line I will definitely be needing that the bigger projects that I continue to do. But it's something that I had. It's a goal that I had for myself and something that I wanted to do, and I made sure that I did all the steps to be able to do it. So of course, with franchises, they have franchise fees. So that's the first thing that you have to pay for. Franchise fees is just something to the franchise company that secures your territory and be able to use the name and the brand and secure your location. In a sense, it doesn't go toward any type of build out or anything like that. It's just strictly towards to the corporation or the franchise owner. When you start, it's all about, what territory you want to be in. A lot of people pick a territory that's closest to them, or maybe a hometown, or a territory that they know will thrive. So it's a lot of things that go into picking the territory. That's important. So for that, I picked in the beginning. I live in the Metro Atlanta area, so my 2 franchises are in Fayetteville, Georgia, which is about 30 minutes from Atlanta, and then Dalton, Georgia, which is at the top of Georgia, close to the state
Okay.
line. So I have so right when people pass, like they're driving into Georgia, my store
Uh-huh.
is the first store that you'll see because Dalton is on the state line up by Tennessee. So just having getting knowledge and learning as far as where your peach cobbler or where your business is going to be, what's the best location for the business based off the type of the business, and then creating a build out and having a team that really and we're creating a team that supports you and you being very hands on. I will say with me franchising, I'm super duper hands on, and the more that I open, I know that my time it's getting cut as far as the personal time that I have. But
You
I'm
lying.
very hands-on, like about that when it comes to opening like both of my stores. I was in my store, both of my stores, 6 months straight, every day, open to close. I have to, for me, it's I have to set the bar and set the tone in my business and make sure that, in the beginning, it's very crucial time, because in the beginning, when you first open, you get those customers that you're either going to get a customer and they're going to come back, or you're going to get a customer and they're never going to come back, because first impressions are everything. So that first 6 months of opening a business is crucial. So I make sure that I'm very much present until I can get my businesses to a point to where I can operate them and still be visible, but rotate between all of my businesses, uh, depending on their need. Because now, with me having multiple locations and me only being one person, I have to have certain people in place in a certain team to be able to carry my businesses, and then me step in and do the responsibilities that I'm supposed to make sure that my business is successful.
Wow, that is amazing. What did you learn about yourself during the first year of owning a franchise?
Hmm. Having strength for sure. Being very strong. I really tested myself to see how bad did I really want it.
Mm,
So with my first franchise, I opened I opened and operated Dalton first before Fayetteville. Fayetteville was still in the build out process. Dalton is actually 2 hours away from my home. So for me, I'm a mom. I have kids. I have kids that are there in school. My kids are younger than they are now. Now they're a little bit older, but 2 years ago they're younger. And for me, our stores operate 12 to 10 every single day on the weekends until midnight. So I was there open to close. We bake fresh every single day. So I had to get there early to prep. Rather, I had a truck, things like that. So in those first 6 months, having that support system that I had, especially for my kids, is big, because I saw my kids before they went to school, and that was it. I did not see them after school. I was there. So for me, it was getting on the road, sometimes 6, 7 o'clock in the morning, get into Dalton, prepping and things like that. And then on some days I wouldn't make it home until after midnight. On some days I wouldn't make it home until 2 a.m. So, and then I'll just wake up and do it all over again. So having that drive, and
yeah,
that hustle to know that, even though I'm only getting a couple hours of sleep, and I know right now I have to sacrifice, the people around me have to sacrifice. And, my kids went without a lot of things that they're used to as far as time, being able to be into certain programs and sports and things, just because I had the time to be able to take them to that, and for them to be a part. I knew that, in this first year, with me being so hands on, I'm like, we're going to have to take a little bit of a step back. But I know that in the next 5 years, the reward of me doing that is going to
yeah.
be massive. So having the courage and having the strength to be able to scale down and to be able to go without and to be able to sacrifice for something bigger in the future, really was the biggest thing for me.
Man, from someone listening who dreams and becoming a franchise owner, what are the key mindset shifts they need to make?
The key mindset shifts would be having tough skin, because you're going to be told no. I've been told no plenty of times in the process for many different reasons, rather it was being a woman, being young, being black, and just different things, as to why I was told no. So having tough skin is because everything is not going to go the way that you want it to go.
Mm,
Being prepared to sacrifice, scale down, and to go without, to be able to run your business successfully, being okay with the ups and downs, because everything is not, glitter and gold in any business. Some businesses, we could be great in the finances, and sometimes things trickle down. We have our moments. Sometimes we are slow, sometimes we're busy, or then we have our busy mark and we're doing good, then we have our slow time, and just being open that things are not going to be consistent, is a big thing. And then also knowing that just because it is a franchise does not mean that there won't be any issues. Just like small businesses or individually owned businesses, everything you go through trial and error with any business, whether it's one business, 100 businesses, or 10,000 locations, you're going to have, issues and things. So the biggest thing I would say out of everything that I just said is really just being built and being ready to go through the hard and not just the easy stuff.
So, what do you think are some of the misconceptions what people have about franchising and ownership in the hospitality industry?
They think that they're going to open a business and not be hands on. Like they think that they're just
Yeah.
invested in something, opening the business, not being hands on, and it's just going to be another stream of income for them. And that is not it. That's not it at all. Eventually, yes, that is the goal, to not have to step foot into your businesses and be able to run them remotely or check in on them and then not take so much of your time. That is the goal for everybody who has a business, right? So for me, you have to work towards that though. You have to put in the hard work. And that's where a lot of people get confused, because think about it, a lot of models are set up a certain way because they don't want people to just come in and give them money because they're financially able to open a business and then not be present. Because sometimes, especially in the beginning, that is why businesses don't succeed or could be failing in a sense, if the owner or management or team is not ever present. So for me,
Yeah.
I don't care. I have, when I get to the point to where I have 60 locations. I know it's only 30 days in a month, so I guess I'm going to be going to see 2 locations a day for every month. So it's just something like that, to where I know that no matter how many locations I have, I'm still going to be present or want to be present in some way. Like, I'm still very hands on, and I have multiple locations. I still do my payroll. I still do my trucks. I still rip and run errands. I still pick up shifts. I still cover people. I still do training. I do everything. So I'm still very hands on, and I'll always be that, because I actually have a passion for, and I actually love what I do. And I think that is the difference in business, because a lot of people have businesses where they're not actually loving what they do. They're in it for
Yeah. The
the
money.
benefits or the money. And that's just not what it is for me. I actually have a passion for hospitality. I have a passion for customer service. I have a passion for dealing with people, and of course, food and desserts. So that is why I got into a field that I knew that I would enjoy and continue to enjoy along the way.
And that is so important because a lot of people look at someone else's success and they be like, man, I want to do that too. That's dope. But it's like, do you
Mhm.
really want to do it? Or do you look at the outcome of what I'm doing and not understanding the
Mhm.
back end of how much hard work, dedication, sleepless nights,
Mhm.
sacrificing, finances, everything that you go through behind the scenes? That's why I like to enlighten a lot of my listeners for entrepreneurs like yourself, and what you sharing this experience is so inspiring because being a mom of four and you running all these businesses and you doing so much, and not only you just having the one franchise, you got two, and then you got other things going on as well. It's very inspiring. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
I am. So, with you building a legacy in these brands, what inspires the concept behind each of your businesses?
I will say definitely, like I touched on before, having the experience and starting that business so young when I did, definitely pushed me to be in this position that I am now, with franchising and the specific franchises that I'm choosing, because it's very, franchising is very diverse actually. You could franchise a gas station, an oil change place, a tire place, it's not just food and hospitality. And I have a lot of, just like you said, people who could be interested, if they don't know the backstory or what it takes to actually do it, they might figure out that it's something that they do want to do, or something they may not want to do. And that's what a lot of people figure out, especially because I mentor too. I mentor people in this field when it comes to franchising, and that's what they figure out is that's the whole point of the creative thinking and the development plan, is to see if which route is best for you, and even if this route is best for you. Because for instance, you don't have to just franchise, you can be on the franchisor side. So I have people that started the first business and that business ended up turning successful, and they want other people to open more locations of their business versus you
Okay.
going and being the franchisee. So it's a lot of different ways in this field, and different parts of it, and different roles that you can play in it. And for me, it's figuring out which one is best for you. So I did what was best for me and what I actually had a passion for. Because of course I could have went and opened up a oil change place if I wanted to, but is that really going to serve me? I don't know. I don't know anything about, I'm not that much
Yeah.
into car maintenance to be able to want and go open up a oil change franchise, unless I knew that that is going to guarantee me a certain amount of income, to where it would be a good business to just invest in, because that's a lot. And that's another thing too. um it's opportunities for investments. You don't just have to be the front line owner of something. You can also invest on the back end. You can invest into doing it. And I tell people all the time, because for me, I wanted to do it solely and not have any partners, and do it the way that I want to do it. But it's so
Right.
many ways to do it. I groups of people who are groups of 10 that open locations and franchises, and it's easier for them to do that because it's 10 people investing versus one person taking up the bill. So it's a lot of ways that you can be successful, and there's a lot of different routes that people can go. So the best thing is to get educated on it, to see that which route is the best for you, if it's something that you want to do.
So, with customer experience is clearly at its heart of what you do. What makes dining an experience unforgettable in your eyes?
For me, is I already am a person that goes above and beyond because I'm a competitive person. And for me, I like a certain experience too, because I'm an experienced person for one. The quickest way they say to a person's heart is through their stomach. So that's why I value good food, good tasting food, but also presentation is a big thing too. So for instance, I can go to an establishment that is clean, the experience is good, I've had great customer service, and the presentation was great. Even if the food wasn't a 10 out of 10, they'll still get a 5 star from me. Or even if it wasn't 100%, they'll still get a 5 star from me, because a lot of the other categories set the bar for that experience. So
Okay.
it's all about, again, a first impression thing too. So
Mhm.
for me, if I walk into somewhere again and their food is amazing, but it's not clean in there, and I might get a rude experience, they might not get, that's not a 5 star experience for me. So you have to hit a lot of things. Some people get confused with customer service or an experience and think it's just one or two things, and really it's an all around experience. It's how you're being treated, the what you're getting, how you're receiving, and just different things like that. So for me, it's kind of like an all around thing. So that is my priority, to make sure that everything is consistent. So how I train my employees and my team is a big thing too. We all know that we can't please everybody, and sometimes we are going to have experience that don't serve us well. But
Yeah.
in the midst of that, I'm really big on, again, the customer's right. So I have had experiences where they did not go in my favor, or I felt like it was an unfair, I got an unfair chance, but I'm still big on making it right. Because for me, I'm not the type of person with any businesses, oh, I have something and it's not good, I'm going to give them a 1 star. No, I give people the benefit of the doubt and give them the opportunity to correct it first before I pass judgment. And that's really big for me, because for one, everybody's human. We all make mistakes, businesses, personal, all of that. So it's big for me for people to give people a chance. And that's
That
just
is
how I run my business.
that is good. It shows your compassion and everything that comes with it. That's really dope. So what advice do you give to individuals who feel stuck or feel like their dreams is too far fetched?
Ask for help if you need help. Like, I'm really big on that, because it
Yeah.
was hard for me and I still don't ask. I'm saying ask because I'm the person who will help, but I'm not the person who will ask. But I'm literally telling you because I have to tell myself that it's literally people out here that will help you if you need help. I said, and so for me in 2025, I told myself that I'm going to start asking if I need, because the worst that somebody can do is tell me no. So it's worth the try to ask, right? So for me, is the advice that I can give people is ask if you need help, because it's somebody that can literally change your life or answer your question or help you in your opportunities that you have for yourself. So don't be scared or don't be afraid or don't feel like you're less because you need help or that you feel stuck, or because that one time that you ask somebody could literally be that time for you to be successful. So we have to start opening our mouth more, and then also being around people that are doing better than you, or surrounding yourself around people. This year I have done a lot more networking in my free time, and it has literally set the bar for me, because you wouldn't believe how many people don't know that your business exists.
That's true.
I have
That is
ran into
true.
the Peach Cobbler Factory. We have over 100 locations now. I have literally ran into a lot of people that don't even know what the Peach Cobbler Factory is. So that's just an example. So I can only imagine people that have are small businesses that have one business. You have to get your name out there. You have to sell your brand. You have to push your brand. You have to act like that you and your brand is what you're dependent on for life, really. And that is how you grow your name, grow your success, and just grow your business. Because for me to be able to, where I am today versus where I was 2 3 years ago, every single month I continue to grow, and more people continue to know who I am, what I'm doing, what my mission is. And that's just what my goal for that is, just to continue to grow. So for me, it's to get out there, meet people, open your mouth, speak, and make people remember you.
Yeah, that is so true. So, with you managing the Peach Cobbler Factory, how are you able to manage Ricketts World famous bar and sports lounge? Because, girl,
So my
because
Peach
you're
Cobbler
doing that
Factory,
too.
one has been open was three years, and the other one has been open going on 2 years. So I have those locations, kind of in the operation standpoint, to where now my focus is still on the Peach Cobbler Factory, and I'm still doing, but it's not a new business, so I'm just growing and going with the flow, right? So my operation is a little more organized, with the Peach Cobbler Factory. And with Ricketts, is that is a whole different field too. So Peach Cobbler Factory is desserts. We only sell dessert. Well, we sell food too. I'm sorry. We sell desserts, and we sell savory cobblers. We sell a lot of things like that. But it's like bites and things, versus going into the nightlife, world is completely different when we're talking about adult nightlife and full service restaurant. It's just a little bit different. So now I am transforming my mindset to get ready for that, and I'm gonna say the mid stages. So opening up my first location in Atlanta has been definitely more challenging than me opening Peach Cobbler Factories, for sure, because it's just on a different scale. But I'm also still learning and growing with it. So now my focus, as far as my physical time, is into opening that business. And I know once that business opens, I'll be really hands on with that, just like I was with my businesses, and then
Yeah.
I will transform those locations into my rotation and just keep going. Because for me, I want to turn 11 locations into 100. So my time is going to be limited anyway, because I'm still always going to be one person, no matter how many locations I have. But for that is a goal for me, to just keep going. I don't want to cap myself. I don't want to limit myself. I have really big goals. So I will just, as a person, have to adjust to all of the things that I have going on, and I'm doing it the best way that I can.
So, if you could go back and speak to your 13-year-old self, Aleeah, what would you tell her now?
I would tell her that it definitely gets easier later. I would tell her that it's okay to fail, because for me, I feel like when I was young, I was scared to fail. I'm like, oh my gosh, and I'm still scared to fail. I feel like that I have a lot of pressure, on my back, and I have so many people that I want to make proud, and my kids are definitely a forefront of that. But for
Yeah.
me, I would say that the biggest thing is to stay focused and know that it's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to fail. And that when you do that, don't think of it as failing, but think of it as a lesson. And just keep
Mm,
going. I really set myself up now to always have a plan A through plan D, because, plan A and B doesn't always work out, and you have to resort, to other plans. And that's okay. Because for me, I keep a very, very clear mindset that what's for you will always be for you, and nobody can take that from you. And there is no pressure on a timeline. Like, don't let anybody think that you're too old, or you're too young, or you're doing too much, or you're too late, or it's taking you too long, because everybody's timeline is different, right? I think Colonel Sanders didn't open up KFC until he was in his late
right.
40s, 50s,
Yeah.
or something like that,
Yep.
so, and we see where KFC is. Everybody's timeline is different. You got people that work all their life, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's what they want to do. We got people that will retire at 30 because that's what they want to do. I learned to stop comparing my life and what I have going on to somebody else's, because somebody else's journey is not mine, just like my journey is not anyone else's. So the more that I stayed focused on me and what I have going on, it allowed me to be more hands on and more invested into my journey and my success, versus me trying to compare and keep up with what was around me, distracted
Yeah.
me from my own destiny and my own empire that I'm trying to build. So for me, it's stay focused on what you have in front of you and take it step by step. And I also shorten my goals, as in I used to have goals like, oh my God, I want to open 100 locations, which that's still a goal for me, but it's a goal that's more further, because my goal right now that's working out is open another one. Just open
Yeah.
one, open another one, open another one. And as I keep opening them, they will end up equaling out to that 100, versus in
Yeah.
my head, like, I need to open 100 right now. That's not gonna work. So it's the small goals and the small steps that equal out to your big success. So,
That is cool. So I want you to fill in this blank. I am most powerful when.
whew, I am most powerful when I am helping others be powerful too.
Yeah, that's receiving your blessings given to others. That's basically what it is when you do a lot of things. When you give, because you will always be blessed. You
Yes,
definitely. I I love that because when you still working hard and everything, sometimes people don't understand that give back moment of you
yes,
doing for others and everything. That's why you thrive the way you do.
yes. That is really
Yeah.
big.
Yes, it is. So, how can people contact you for mentorship and also just follow you of different things that you have going on to keep up with you? Because you are doing a lot.
Well, I will say that I'm super open when it comes to communicating and people reaching out to me. I spend a lot of time, responding back to messages and emails. So my easiest way to get in contact with me is DM me, direct message me on Instagram. A lot of people contact me that way, and then we can end up, texting, calling, or emailing that. And my Instagram is at Aleeah. So I'm definitely available there, and my I'm Aleeah Smith everywhere. So LinkedIn, Facebook.
That's good. That's good. Well, thank you so much, Aleeah. I really appreciate you. I love your story. I can't wait to see you have all those franchises because I'm not about to be missing out on what you got going on.
Thank you so much for having me. I really enjoyed today.
I enjoyed you too. And thank you everyone for tuning in to Life Heard Podcast. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube and also listen to Life Heard Podcast on all major platforms.